There's more to organizational structure than just following an outline format. There are some things you can do organizationally that will actually make your speech more compelling and more powerful. I do want you to know the following concepts: the primacy effect, the recency effect, and the rule of threes. The primacy effect simply says we tend to remember what we hear first. The recency effect says we tend to remember what we hear last. And I often ask my classes, if you had to guess, which would you think is more powerful, primacy or recency? And usually they do guess correctly. The recency effect is more powerful because it's information that's a little bit fresher in your mind. So we do tend to remember things we heard last. Primacy effect, though, is still powerful. So if you're putting together a persuasive speech and you have one point that's really powerful, one point that's pretty strong, and one point that's frankly a little bit weak, where are you going to put your weakest point? In the middle. You bury your weakest point in the middle because that's where people's attention is most likely to wander. You put your strongest point last to take advantage of the recency effect, and your next strongest point first. I have colleagues who teach English, and they say they teach their students the same thing. Apparently, it's also true in the classic 5-paragraph essay. Audiences remember, or readers remember, the very first thing they see and the very last thing they see. So you put your most compelling arguments last and then first. Now you'll notice that I'm sort of defaulting to assuming that you will have 3 main points. You do not have to have 3 main points. You could have 2: cause, effect, problem, solution. Those are classic organizational structures. You could have 4. You could simply do a topical analysis that broke itself into 4 points. In my 7 secrets discussion, it's 7 main points. It depends on the speech. But the reason that we often default to assuming you will have 3 main points is because audiences seem to like things that come in threes. When you learn the alphabet, what do you learn? The ABCs. When you learn to count, you learn the 1, 2, 3s. It's not the ABCDs and the 1, 2s. That seems weird. When you learn to sing, you learn do, re, mi. For some reason, we seem to like things that come in threes. So if there's not a compelling reason to do it another way, you can certainly default to the rule of threes, but think of it more as a guideline of threes. It's not a hard and fast rule. You don't always have to have exactly 3 main points. It's just something that seems to work well if you don't have a reason to do it otherwise.